Alright, I'm making a video about the Netflix Unwellness series. And this is a series as a critical look at alternative healing practices. And what made me think of this Unwellness series is that Qigong Master Chun-Yi Lin of Spring Forest Qigong that I trained in, he gave a new talk yesterday that's on YouTube, and he says how his students can still heal people, other people, even though they themselves are not fully healed. They're not well fully. And that the more you heal others, the more you heal yourself. And so, this is something of a paradox that is difficult for people to understand unless they probably experience it themselves. So, the Unwellness has a video. The first one I watched was about essential oils and people who overuse essential oils and then get bad reactions from them. And it featured tea tree oil. And I literally have literally consumed more tea tree oil than possibly anyone on the planet. And I'm not joking. And I have overdosed on tea tree oil a couple times, like 3 times. And it is dangerous because it overactivates your vagus nerve. And in fact, a job I worked at for 10 years, I had a female coworker that decided to join me when I worked alone at nights, and she would come back to work so she could be with me. And of course she didn't put it that way, but she, at any rate, I was doing full lotus healing on her, and for years, a couple of years, because our office got automated with a speed dialer, and so a lot of people lost their jobs. But at any rate, at one time she said to me, you're very charming. Too bad you can't talk." And so the reason she said this is because when you're healing somebody, it's right brain dominant. And so you have to be silent for the right brain dominant energy to go out of your skull through the pineal gland. And this is just the psychic Yuan Qi energy. And so then, in order for me to be able to talk to her, I had to do more tea tree oil, because every time energy went out of my skull, it also pulled up anaerobic bacteria from my lower body. And so this is the type of purification that has to be done in a yogic psychic healing, because as tantra, because for spiritual training you have to have a very pure diet, like our original human culture. They didn't have salt, no sugar, no refined oils, and also when they're doing the spiritual training, the males, they just fast with one liquid meal in the evening, and they do that for a month. So then I kept taking the teacher oil so I could talk to her while I was also sending out energy, and I would alternate between the left brain and the right brain. So the left brain for talking and the right brain in silence for the Qi energy going out while I sat in full lotus. And then she finally left around 1 a.m. or 1:30, and I hadn't gotten much work done, and then I literally just passed out from having too much tea tree oil, and I didn't realize it at the time that it was from too much tea tree oil. And one of the effects of tea tree oil is that it activates your glutamate system, which is the same thing as what alcohol does. So you can get drunk from the sensation of drunk from the tea tree oil, even though it has no alcohol. And when I woke up in the morning, the day shift had come in, one of the canvas managers, and he was a recovering alcoholic, and he had a history where if he thinks somebody had been drinking when they come into work or was drunk when they come into work, he just becomes apoplectic and goes into a rage. And he held his cool with me because we had worked together for almost 10 years. And so but when I left the office, and then he I guess he was raging when I was gone, and then I tried to come back later, and that's when I revealed I had been doing the tea tree oil and not alcohol. And the boss lady, she looked up tea tree oil, and she said, "Well, you're not supposed to be drinking that or taking it internally." And I said, "Yeah, but I know the Western medicine information about tea tree oil, but obviously the reason it's called tea tree oil is because the Cook expedition drank it as a tea when they arrived in Australia. The Aboriginals of Australia gave it to the Cook and his sailors to drink the tea tree oil as a tea. So I'm in no way recommending anybody take it, and in fact I stopped taking it because they've done studies where they're claiming tea tree oil and also eucalyptus, the type of terpenes in it increase your estrogen levels, so it gives males moobs or man boobs. And I don't know if it's from the tea tree. I've gained a lot of weight since the pandemic, so I get kind of, like you can see, I got man boobs, but it's pretty much muscle. Most of it's muscle. It's not a lot of fat, but anyway, so I figured I'd just stop taking the tea tree, and then the other unwellness show was on tantra, and I've already talked about the tantra with the tea tree, which they feature Cobra, and she was a student of this guy named Tantric Mongoose, and he has videos on YouTube where he sends energy into females who then have their vagus nerve is activated so that they feel bliss. And this is something that I discovered that's part of the psychic healing energy. When I would sit in full lotus all the time in public, because that was my way of maintaining celibacy, or so I thought. But instead I was just sending all my energy out of my pineal gland through, and I burned up my energy by doing that for all day long for a couple of years in in the city. But it is true, you can experience true love